This is an intervention. Not really, but let's discuss something that I'm sure a lot of us can relate to. Today, we're diving into the topic of LFGs in the Destiny community. More specifically, the toxicity. A community-driven tool that's deceivingly wearing a mask of camaraderie and support, only for its true ugly face to be revealed once it's too late. Given that Destiny is an MMORPG with extravagant endgame content requiring up to 6 players to complete, there is certainly merit to having LFGs. So without further ado, let's crack this can of worms wide open and bask in the blighted glory of it. So what is an LFG? Nah, just kidding. An LFG, aka looking for group, is a common term used in online gaming communities, forums, and social platforms where players seek to join or create groups to play together. When players want to find others to team up with for specific in-game activities, they will use an LFG, whether it be through websites like Destiny Tracker or the 100.io, or through Discord servers like Destiny 2 LFG. There are many avenues of finding players with similar objectives to team up with, and in concept is a fantastic idea if not a crucial one. For players like myself, who don't have many friends who play Destiny or preferably play solo, LFGs are practically essential for any non-match-made activities like Grandmaster Nightfalls, dungeons, and raids. Given that raids and dungeons are some of the most well-crafted, worthwhile content with the best loot and experiences to be had, a solo player would otherwise not experience them. So if it's such a great idea and gives access to higher-end content for players like myself, then how could it possibly be so negative? So picture this. You're a solo player, and there's a raid you've been wanting to do for months. You've watched guides on how to do the raid, and although complex, you've got a good idea of what to do. You've been seeing people wearing sexy-ass armor sets in lobbies, sporting sick guns with stellar rolls, and you want to experience that master-crafted content everyone raves about. You aren't a social butterfly, and talking to new people is already a rough task for you. But today, enough is enough. I'm getting that armor set. I'm a high enough level, so it shouldn't be too punishing. You search for Destiny LFG Discord servers and join the first one on the list. So here you are, anxiously perusing the rapidly updating chat to join an LFG group for that raid. One reads, looking for 2 more. Vow of the Disciple, /join, homunculus toe, #1234. You respond to the message, they type. You anxiously await. Perfect, a group to join that will help me out. I love this community. You join, everything seems neutral. You don't say much aside from hello and some small talk, you know. You're sitting in orbit with 5 other ships when suddenly one of the players starts reading out your loadout. Laugh, feel like a fish out of water already. They start critiquing your weapon choice, exclaiming how you're a fool for using a precision frame instead of an aggressive frame, how your resilience is not maxed out and there's not a god roll in sight. What seemed to be a rather nice lobby was now turning you into the brunt end of a cruel joke. Your face is beet red and you feel like an outcast as your screen cuts black to a solo orbit session. You've been kicked from the fire team. You stare in silence, wondering if it's worth trying to find another group to join, or if you even want to continue playing for the night. Ultimately, you decide your morale is low and you'll try again another time. A few days have passed, and every match-made activity you join has a guardian wearing that armor set you tried to go for last week. You tab over to Discord and see the LFG server symbol there, and you can't take your eyes off it. Last time was awful. Perhaps it'll be different this time. You swallow your doubt and once again try. You find your group and join in, you load into orbit with them and they launch the raid. So far, so good. You ask for a reminder on how to do the first encounter and they kindly oblige. Better than last time. These guys are way nicer. The encounter begins and a few minutes in, you go down for the first time. Really? Come on, man, one person says. You try not to let it bother you, but you're back in the fight. Just one remark won't hurt. You're running your roll, but slightly miscalculate one step and cause the mechanic to reset. Let's just wipe, one says, and the team all resets. One departure, then another, and another. Then an oddly particular insult flies out. I'm talking some real deep-rooted insecurity you've never really thought about until Anna Bray's sweaty socks, #1738, clocked you with it. Until you're the last one in the lobby waiting by the rally flag, left to the deafening room ambience. Come on, Thog the Devourer of Stale Chips, let's get the fuck out of here. This is just one example of the types of experiences a new LFG user can face. I certainly have. Low-key shade and being booted for performance is one type of negativity you can run into, but what about the countless other types of toxicity? Toxicity in LFGs can manifest in various forms, creating negative experiences for players simply seeking to team up for a chill night of gaming. One extremely prevalent type is elitism, where some players believe their skills are superior and set high expectations for other players, excluding those who may be less experienced. Especially with an emphasis on playstyle, loadout type, gear synergy, and equipment used. Your SMG doesn't have Outlaw and Rampage on it? Get out. Your linear doesn't have triple tap and firing line? Goodbye. You aren't using Omnioculus? See ya. Gatekeeping is another issue, with certain players setting strict entry requirements or demanding specific gear, excluding otherwise capable individuals. No 200 plus clears? Don't know exactly what to do in speedrun time?
I think you'd be more comfortable over at that place.
Weenie Hut Juniors!
Verbal abuse is also common, as toxic players resort to offensive language and name-calling when expressing frustration or dissatisfaction with team members. Blaming and shaming occur when players single out others for mistakes, creating a tense and discouraging environment. Discrimination and hate speech, whether based on race, gender, or orientation, is another toxic behavior that undermines inclusivity and ultimately negatively conveys to the player they aren't allowed to play due to what they are, with factors they cannot control. You were born that way? Like out of the womb and shit? How dare you! Trash talking, though sometimes all in good fun, can become harmful when it crosses boundaries into disrespect and more personalized attacks. Like, I'll be honest, I shit talk, but it's more self-deprecating than anything, but never serious, and it is established beforehand that it's just jokes. So in this section I pulled some posts from Reddit of fellow Guardians detailing their most cringeworthy, painful LFG experiences where they themselves witnessed or were on the receiving end of the toxicity. I'll post a link to the full Reddit post below if y'all want to go read some more of them, but here are just a few.
Some guy wanted a Master Nez Comless run, we did it. He proceeded to boot everyone before rewards except his friend. Thankfully, he got banned relatively quick from the LFG Discord. Runner-up would be my last attempt at King's Fall, where we constantly had communication issues on War Priest until eventually about 4 people left, so me and the other guy just left.
Joined a normal King's Fall run late at night, and we got to the second encounter. They tried to cheese it, and it just wasn't clicking for me, so after screwing it up and as some insults thrown my way, I just up and left, went to bed, and haven't touched King's Fall since.
First one is when I did Leviathan for the first time. Our leader kept calling us idiots for messing up once per encounter minus dogs. When we did baths, he decided to return to orbit and restart the encounter, despite us beating it quickly, because he thought we didn't learn everything about the mechanics of the encounter.
A few weeks ago, I LFG'd for a fresh route of nightmares. Joined up and no one was talking much, not even the leader. I called out the red border thing and we made it to the first encounter. Someone started the encounter before we could converse amongst each other, and I said, "Well, guess we're going." A few seconds later, the raid leader finally spoke and said, "This is not your effing raid, N-word, F-slur." He took us to orbit and kicked everyone. Thankfully, someone else from that same team was able to gather everyone else for a proper run. We got a 6th and got through it in about an hour.
So there's a lot of toxicity in LFGs. Stop using them. Just playing. But does this mean all LFGs are bad? Most certainly not. There are plenty of nice players out there who aren't there to ruin your night or point out strange insecurities like that weird third nipple you have. It's not weird, it's dope. His name's Marcus and he keeps me company, thank you. I wouldn't have completed some of the raids and dungeons if not for LFGs. A nice tip I can give when searching for a group is to put one extra word in the post. Chill. Most of the time, when somebody has chill in their post, they've been chill. Most of the times when I put chill in my posts, people who join are chill. But I think as a community, especially people who run endgame content on the regular, need to realize that not everyone is going to have your preferred loadout or your same skill level. Most people are just gamers who have a few extra hours on their hands and want to experience something people consider the main draw to the game. No need to be rude. People learn at different rates. People just want to have fun. Let them have it. We were all noobs at one point. If you want a healthy community, treat them kindly. It's not that hard. And if it's just not going well, then tell them nicely and just excuse yourself. Give them some constructive criticism. I did that the other day. Someone wanted to join for a Ghost of the Deep dungeon, but he was heavily underleveled. I told him to go run some story missions and grind up to around 1800. And when he does, I'll help him through it. Just now, it would be a very bad experience for him because he's so underleveled. He'd get one shot by everything. He was understanding and thankful for the tips. That's all I gotta say for today. Thank each and every one of you for taking the time out of your day to check this out, and hopefully you've learned something about LFGs, good or bad. If you enjoyed this, then be sure to like, subscribe, and comment some experiences you have of your own. Be kind to each other. Game on.